The last thing Mr. Kessler said to me before I walked out of his shop was, "You're just a mechanic." Then he laughed. Not the kind of laugh people give when something is funny. The kind that says they've already decided who you are. He adjusted the expensive watch on his wrist, leaned back beneath the fluorescent lights, and nodded toward his son standing near the tool bench. "My engineering graduate son will replace you." Then the office door closed. Just like that. 3 years of long nights, burned fingertips, missed holidays, and engines rebuilt piece by piece disappeared into silence. I stood there for a moment, holding the wrench still sitting in my pocket. Not angry, not crying, just still. Because sometimes disappointment doesn't arrive loudly. Sometimes it sits quietly in your chest and asks, "Now what?" My name is Mara Devlin, and if life has taught me anything, it's this. People can underestimate you, but talent doesn't disappear because someone refuses to see it. I learned engines before I learned confidence. As a little girl, while other kids played outside, I sat beside my grandfather in his garage. He used to tell me machines had personalities. "Listen long enough," he'd say, "and they'll tell you what's wrong." I believed him. Maybe that's why I always felt more understood by engines than people. Engines didn't care what you looked like. They didn't care where you studied. They responded to patience, precision, respect. People weren't always that simple. So after leaving Kessler Auto, I disappeared. No social media posts, no dramatic speeches, no angry messages, just work. I rented an old airplane hangar outside the city. The roof leaked when it rained, the walls looked tired, but it was mine. I rebuilt engines there one at a time, not just repairing them, perfecting them. Every bolt mattered, every sound mattered, every machine leaving my shop carried my signature, even if my name wasn't attached. Weeks passed quietly. Then, one afternoon, a client posted a video. 3 dealerships couldn't fix my Ferrari, the caption said. Then someone else touched it. The camera panned toward the engine. It purred, not loudly, smoothly, beautifully. The video exploded online. Millions of views. Comments flooded in. "Who fixed this? Find this mechanic. Whoever did this is a genius." In the background, you could barely see me. Oil-stained coveralls, hair tied back, hands moving over metal. No face, no introduction, just work. And suddenly, people were asking questions. Meanwhile, Kessler Auto had its own problems. His son Adam had taken over much of the workshop. Fresh degree, perfect resume, 0 real-world experience. He looked the part, but machines know the difference between knowledge and understanding. Customers started noticing, then leaving. Slowly at first, then faster, because trust takes years to build and seconds to lose. I watched it happen from a distance, not because I wanted revenge, because I wanted perspective. There's a difference. One afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. A voice with an Italian accent spoke calmly. "Mara Devlin?" "Yes. We've seen your work." I waited. "We'd like to talk." 2 days later, a black courier car pulled into my driveway. Inside sat a contract, and beside it, a red racing suit with my name stitched across the chest. For a moment, I just stared. Because there are moments in life when you realize the door that closed behind you was never the destination. It was just an exit. Work changed after that. Bigger projects, faster machines, longer nights. I wasn't building repairs anymore. I was building ideas, designing systems, solving problems, creating things that once existed only in my imagination. And eventually, people stopped asking, "Who's that mechanic?" They started asking, "How do we work with Mara?" Months later, I received an invitation. Redline International Engineering Competition. The biggest names in automotive innovation would be there. including Kessler Auto, including Adam. I almost laughed. Life has strange timing. The arena buzzed with cameras and conversations. I walked in wearing the same work boots I'd worn for years. Nothing expensive, nothing flashy, just me. Adam looked shocked. Mr. Kessler looked pale. The challenge was simple: design and optimize a performance engine under pressure. No assistants, no teams, just skill. For 36 hours we worked. Adam checked specifications repeatedly. I listened, adjusted, built. Because by then, engineering no longer felt like calculations to me. It felt like music. By the end, my engine sat quietly waiting. Steady, confident. When the judges tested both systems, Adam's struggled. Mine came alive, smooth, powerful, balanced. The room erupted, flashbulbs exploded, questions came from every direction. Then someone asked, "Mara, how does it feel?" I looked across the room. Mr. Kessler stared back, and I smiled. "I'm just a mechanic," I said. The room laughed, but not at him, at the irony. The months that followed changed everything. Partnership offers arrived, speaking invitations arrived, investors arrived. But the thing I felt proudest of wasn't the headlines. It was something smaller. I opened my own shop, Devil in Dynamics, not because I wanted a bigger business, because I wanted a different kind of culture. Half my team consisted of young people others had overlooked. Students without perfect grades, people who had been told they weren't enough. The other half were engineers who simply wanted a chance to be heard. Above our entrance, I placed a sign: earn it, build it, share it, because talent grows faster where respect exists. Years later, I stood backstage at an engineering summit preparing to give a keynote speech. Funny thing is, there was a time I wasn't even allowed to park in certain lots. Now I was opening conferences. I walked onto the stage. The room became quiet. I looked at hundreds of faces staring back, some excited, some uncertain, some carrying the same doubt I used to carry. I smiled. Then I said, "People think success starts when someone believes in you." I paused. Sometimes it starts when someone doesn't. The room stayed still, because being underestimated hurts. But sometimes it also introduces you to a version of yourself you never knew existed. After the event, I walked outside toward my car. Waiting beneath the windshield was an envelope. No name. Inside were only 3 words. "You were right." No explanation, no apology. Just that. I folded the note carefully and tucked it into my glove compartment beside the first spark plug I ever kept. Then I drove home. Not fast, not chasing anything, just moving forward. Because the truth is, I didn't build my future to prove someone wrong. I built it because I finally realized something important. People can take your title, your job, even your confidence for a while, but they cannot take your ability to keep building. And the mechanic they once dismissed? She didn't disappear. She became the engineer behind machines, opportunities, and second chances. Because sometimes the strongest engines aren't made from steel. Sometimes they're built from resilience,